Yeah. Pacino the God deal, cracks like casino cards. Let's get it on my money long as Dan Marino's yards. Quarterback and I run this Nordic track and puffin' cigars, getting massage, blowing your daughter's back and overstand me, it's more than rapping. I live a life drug dealing, blood spilling once the floor is clapping. This year we going more than platinum, we trying to reach diamond. Mercenaries is what the streets buying. Local niggas keep trying, but y'all takes is weak. Y'all flows and ain't even hot enough to lace the beats. Hate to speak the truth, but the truth hurts. Pussy cats rocking loose skirts, acting like women. Y'all niggas is
deep, so deep. Y'all about to be 6 feet. When clicks meet up on 5th Street like it's sweet. Bring your big heat and your illest killers. They're gonna leave you brainless and make you famous.
And make you famous like you did the killers. Well,
power to the people, let the
power to the people, let the gods bring down all evil.
Sheeple, black Messiah,
let the fire.
We rock mics like stolen cars speed through. Stoplights, you got cold feet, hold heating for the spotlight. Say cheese, you start stuck, 360 degrees, get scarred up. You feel the wrath when it's God's touch and hard luck. We charged up from powers, crushed flowers and blaze sour and haze. Take my mind from cage, second stage when the rage release. Cock the gauge and blaze at police. Don't be amazed, just ways of the streets. We was raised, mentalities, the master verse slaves. Passive behave like robots and bring the Rico act to the whole block. Power to the people, let the gods rain down. On evil ninjas asleep, so we waking up the
Sheeple, about to cook. Stay spirit cooking over here.
Feel the flames of hell as they burn. Ninjas live and you learn.
Ninjas live and you learn. Yeah. What's up? Yeah. You already know it's the Galactic One, Illinu.L. We back cracking spells. Shout out to all the Galactic Guardians, 720 degrees. Shout out to the whole URO, everybody living in that universal right order. Shout out to the House of Consciousness, Connecticut chapter. This message being brought to you by K.O.R TV, Kingdom of Righteousness TV. The show is called Wake Up Sheeple. Y'all already know how I do. We about to jump right into the demonstration. I say to all the great prophets, ancestors, aiders, messiahs, messages that came before, making the platform available so we could be here today, giving you the message. I say, jumping right into the demo on this galactic glorious day of divine creed Thor's day, or Jupiter, or Ptah, right? The day of Ptah, expansion and contraction. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to expand our minds a little bit and contract on a few thoughts, tighten up a little bit on how we see things. So dealing with the extreme supreme mathematics, y'all know how I like to do on the Gregorian frequency of things. Today is 3/19/2026. And with that being said, when you do the math, you get wisdom, understanding. Michael Jordan, wisdom, understanding. The wise dome that speaks the truth, understand the best parts of the mathematics, which is the children. You heard? And so when you combine that, 2 plus 3, 23, you get 5. You get power refinement. You know what I'm saying? When you sum it up to a single digit. So using that 5, we're going to deal with power refinement today. And power is the truth. You know what I'm saying? And refinement is the change. You dig? So if we don't know the truth about stuff, we can't change certain things, especially how we perceive life, reality, which is a very important thing. Your perception of reality becomes your subconscious. That's what plays out. Because we could be conscious of a lot of things, but we can't do shit about it because the subconscious is what's actually happening. So if you find out some truths, though, consciously, you can bring that truth into your subconscious. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what we got to do. Being that today we're getting closer to the equinox, the spring equinox. You already know that's the new year. Happy New Year to everybody and all that ahead of time. But there's also been some solar flares, just to put y'all on. They've been looking at the sun, watching the sun, observing and shit. And on this day, today, the solar flares are supposed to head this way towards Earth. The last flare that came, that released, it's got plasma behind it. It got a whole bunch of shit following the flare, corona, all type of shit. So they saying that shit's supposed to have direct impact with Earth, which can cause weather problems, environmental problems as it affects our electromagnetic field. There might be some problems going on with the weather, and you as a person, you might be going through some chaotic shit. Shit might happen in your life, but remember, it's a solar flare going on. So that just don't take things personal with people and stuff like that. We are affected by higher forces that govern us. So, like the sun per se, when it releases those solar flares, it's a certain type of intelligence in certain beings, and then it's a certain type of uh, uh, frequency that it causes certain beings to act crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, depending on how the sun communicate with that being, or that form of intelligence, you know. So we got to be mindful of that. Just want y'all to be on point for that as we embark into this new year. Be mindful, watch the sun a lot if y'all want to stay in tune so y'all can know when to charge up, what to be looking out for, etc. There's a lot of stuff I want to cover today, but it's Divine Creed Thursdays. So we're going to deal with a specific topic and talk about our Divine Creed, which is our God-like fundamental set of principles or rules that we live by, fundamental set of principles or rules that govern us, right? And so, like I said, it's power of refinement today. So we're going to deal with the two sales on the dollar. Shout out to the Moors. Put that information out years ago. Let me see if I got a dollar on me. I definitely do. So what we're going to be talking about today is why does American currency, what we call money, moon energy, why does it have two sales on it? Why does this currency, the only currency on the globe, got two sales? There's a reason for that, y'all. And if y'all know, you know. If you don't, then I'm gonna just give you a brief rundown real quick on the two sales. So, right, you see the sale over here, the pyramid with the eye on top. You see that sale right there? The pyramid was our ancient sale. Okay, that was our ancient sale that we already had through a government that we already formed on this land in the Americas, and we had a federal government with that prior to European colonization. And this is the sale we use, y'all, as the original mound builders and the original people that built the pyramids. Now, why would we have a pyramid that looks Egyptian on the dollar when Egypt is way over in Africa on American money? Is that because there's more pyramids here in America than there is anywhere else on the planet? And why would it be so many pyramidal societies over here on this side of the planet more than anybody else? Is this truly the Garden of Eden? Is America civilization the oldest? Okay, we're gonna tap in a little bit, right? So understand this is our ancient self, right? We had our own government and our own Iroquois Confederacy. Go look into the Iroquois Confederacy and see that we had a federal government already. Okay. Now, when you look at this one right here, you see the bird, got a flag, whatever, six white stripes going down it. The eagle is the symbol of the European tribes, basically, that was allowed to set up shop in America. There were six European tribes, to be exact. That's why you see six stripes. That's why you see those six white stripes, because we allowed them to come over here. As far as the Moors, who had set up governments with the connection back to Africa and making that connection back over here, because we actually left from over here to help perpetuate other civilizations and then came back over to the Americas. Okay. So this is the true land of milk and honey. That's why they call this the land of milk and honey. This is your Garden of Eden. Okay. I don't think people really understand that science. Okay. But this is why they want to trick black people or so-called copper skin tone people, the indigenous people of the land from here to think that they're from Africa so they can steal the land. The same shit Trump doing today, going to other people's spots, stealing the land. And 50 years from now, those kids that grow up in them environments, they're not going to know who was running that shit and all that. They're going to think it was Trump and everybody else. The same way we got duped when they killed off all our ancestors and gave us a story, his version of it. So understand those six stripes are for six European tribes. And to be specific on the tribes, we're talking about the Dutch, we're talking about the British, we're talking about the Irish, we're talking about the Scottish, we're talking about Germans, and we're talking about Frenchmen. Okay? Now, if you go do your history to all the colonizations and shit like that, you're going to see who was coming over here, setting up shop, blah, blah, blah. They was getting permission. Now, the indigenous people over here never believed in selling anything that came natural. If it's free, we could trade and barter. If I got apples and you got oranges, we could trade, but I can't sell you anything, right? And then as far as the land, we never felt like the land was ours. So when motherfuckers came over here, hey, you know what? Had that little Eastern Seaboard. You know, y'all can set up right here in Virginia. Y'all can set up in Connecticut. Y'all can set up in Maine. Y'all can set up in North Carolina. We gave y'all spots. You dig what I'm saying? To run your business because that's what America was. It was a corporation. It's a business. The United States is a business. So they came over here to do commerce, to do business. What was the commerce? They was moving human stuff. Okay, that was the product. The merchandise that they had was human cargo. Okay, but that was the property that they carried on their ships when they berthed at the docks and they gave their certificate a manifesto. You dig? But long story short, so understand the sail of the eagle with the flag with the six stripes represents those six European tribes that we gave permission to set up shop over here. And as we taught them how it's actually the Mississippi River. Okay, because where the Missouri River and the Ohio River meet, there's a point where those two rivers meet, and the Missouri River will represent the Blue Nile, and the White Nile will be the Ohio River. If y'all follow me, right? And where they meet, at that point where they meet at, guess what the name of the spot is? It's called Cairo, y'all. It's called Cairo, Little Egypt, Little Egypt. Okay, and if you go further down into Lower Egypt, where we had Lower Egypt set up at, that's where you get Memphis, Tennessee, past Alabama. That's Lower Egypt. That's basically considered Lower Egypt, yo. That's why you got Memphis there. The Memphites, the Cushite motherfuckers that came up from the south and all that ran them up out of there. That's our story over here. You did? So understand that little science, right? That Memphis is the Memphis from over there. The same Memphis over there, we got a Memphis over here. The same Nile they got over there, we got a Nile over here. The same Cairo they got over there, we got over here. Something is very suspect, right? There's something very suspect with that. Okay. Is that because we left from over here and went up, set up tribes over there and set all that shit up so they can have these same similar type of patterns? Or did they come over here and set up the shop over here, right? No matter who did it, which way it went, we did it. It was niggas, okay? It was niggas that set up all of this. Pyramidal society come from niggas. Rather you want to go to Sumer, rather you want to go to Egypt, rather you want to, it was niggas, okay? Straight niggas like me and you. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, when you go further down in the lower Egypt, you start to realize that these towns that we have, Memphis, Tennessee, and all these different places, they name the same thing as that. Even when you look at Kentucky, Kentucky, say it again, Kentucky King Tut, Kentucky King Tut. Wait a minute, Kentucky King Tut. Then when you even go further down, like we said into the Grand Canyons, you start to see that they got an area in there that's blocked off that they say is too dangerous, too biohazardous. You can't fuck with it. They blocked it off in the Grand Canyon. But guess what the name of the places is over there? Osiris, Isis, you feel me? Satet, shit like that. Egyptian names, Kemetic names. You know what I'm saying? So overstand the term Washington comes from Washita. Yeah, did y'all know that? The last name Washington really is coming from the tribe of Washita. That's how the name got converted over. The Washingtons were basically the Washita tribe. You did? And so were the Tunic. The Tunic people and the Tunic tribe, that's the Turner. That's where you get Nat Turner. These people were indigenous people of the land. Turner is Tunic. If your last name Turner, you got any connections with the trace back, you're fucking part of the Tunic people. Go start studying that shit. If your last name Washington, go back and look into the Washita. Make the connection. It's very important, right? Because they done found archaeological evidence, right? They actually try to cover up what they found. You know that they found old carbons with beings running around with dinosaurs on the carbons, old artifacts that they found, sculptures and shit with humans and dinosaurs coexisting in the Americas. They found these things in the Americas. So when you talk about dating and whose civilization came first and all of that, well, you know, America definitely is the oldest artifacts that they ever found anywhere on the planet. America, you did. So we have to make some type of a realization here, you know, about what we've been actually dealing with and how we've been tricked because the empress of the Washita Moors actually had a case years ago and actually won that case about the land rights and won over 700 acres of land. Now, did they honor that or try to backstab her or hold her up and all of that? They probably did. 9 times out of 10, knowing them, they ain't just want to give it up like that. But they lost in court. She proved for a fact that we were part of the people that was here and blah, blah, blah. They had to honor that. They had to respect that. And they don't want many people waking up to that type of information and knowledge. You see what I'm saying? Because now your subconscious will change your reality. You will no longer take this place as the United States. You're going to start calling it Turtle Island again. Okay? Understand that. And so the people of the Longhouse is basically what you would get the Iroquois tribe. The people of the Longhouse. It was actually called Heudino Suwani. Suwani. Heudino Suwani. People of the Longhouse. Also, Guyana Shagua. Guyana Shagua. The great law of peace. And this was basically law that was oral. This was an oral constitution. It was nothing written. We already know writing stuff down is the curse, the cursive. You curse through writing. So we had an oral constitution, nigga. Wasn't nothing on paperwork. This is why white people made up this paperwork constitution so they can fit themselves into history. This is why the Europeans did this. I'm going to call them white. Tell folks they came and ripped themselves a constitution that they can put on paper because when you got it on paper, because their history deals with tabletops. All their history you can find in papers and books and shit like that. Our shit you can find in the earth. Them old artifacts of the dinosaurs, that's us. Facts. Facts. They wasn't even around. They ain't come in until 6,000 years ago. Ask them. Ask them when they got here. And we ain't talking about the Palladians and, you know, all the Ashtar Command, Aldebaran niggas. We ain't talking about all those type of entities that came from outer space. I'm talking about the motherfuckers here right now, 6,000 years ago. That's trying to figure out all this shit. The white motherfucker who's so goddamn curious. That motherfucker. Okay? Understand that. We won that case in federal court and proved that. You know, and our government was set up to where each nation had a specific geographic and a political role. Everybody had a job to do. It was fair game. This how we created our governments through oral shit though. The Mohawks, guess what the Mohawks was? That's all up there in the Mohegan, Connecticut, all that shit up in there. We was the Mohawk niggas. We was the guardians of the East Gate, nigga. Guardians of the East Gate. Okay? Guardians. Why I'm galactic guardian, nigga. That term ain't going nowhere. It's still in my blood. We still guardians, nigga. You see what I'm saying? So it's no coinky dink. We GG degree 720, nigga. Understand that. So the guardians of the East Gate. Then you got the Seneca tribe and all of them. They was the guardians of the West Gate. Okay. So we had people in place like the Onondagas and the Cayugas. They was like the brothers tribes to the Mohawks and shit. So when we needed them, we call on them. They come through, help enforce shit. Boom, 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 boom. If we had disagreements, guess what? The Mother Clan. It was matrilineal. It was a woman rule, nigga. Men, the woman selected the chief, and she had the power to dishorn him if they felt like this nigga wasn't right and exact. We could ritualistically strip you of all your authority and your status. The women did that. The women also supplied the military. They're the ones who gave the weapons. They're the ones who took the first front to fight. There would be a women go out there first and shoot and all that. Then the niggas come in and all of that. But the women ran the fucking supplies of all the military shit. Did y'all know that? That's how your role was. That's how important your role was as a woman. That you govern everything. We had to go through the mother clan. You dig what I'm saying? Although we had a council to mediate things, you know what I'm saying? There was a tribe that was a specific tribe to counsel shit when everybody's at a disarray of disagreements and shit. It was one tribe that was neutral that said, hey, well, I'm gonna talk to you, and let's work like this and put it together. But that's how we mediated. But everything was oral. There was nothing written down. And you know how that's why our oral traditions was important to sit around and talk and build and do all of that type of shit because we had to teach people the constitutions and different things. And we also the bead work. You know, these beads and shit like that and all this bead shit. The beads was there for motherfuckers to understand basically where you stand at in law. What's your position? Da 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 da. Da. This was a type of coding. It was all coded in the beading, how we bead shit and all of that. You see, we was an ill people before we was had this conflict. But I had to give y'all a divine creed about yourself so you could tap back into your vine and fig tree, the roots and stuff that you come from. If you don't know this shit, how you supposed to walk in truth? You running around here calling yourself black, African American, all these different terms. You don't even know who the fuck you is. You know what I'm saying? And this is the closest thing we're gonna get back into seeing who the fuck we is. Taking on all those new terms, that's just taking us further away from what the fuck we is. We need to go backwards and connect to the last thing at least that we was. Even if we can't go back into the ancient, we can at least go back into the last shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I come with these little nuggets and stuff to help keep this our story alive. Because that's what today is our story Thursday. And I definitely want to, it's Divine Creed Thursday. And I definitely want to keep our Divine Creed alive. But we got to tell the story. We got to narrate this shit. Because if somebody else tell it, it's going to become from a reptilian aspect. It's going to come from a goddamn Palladian aspect. Or it's going to come from a goddamn human aspect. And we not the humans because humans are part of the animal kingdom. Go look it up. If you think I'm bullshitting, go research the shit. A human is part of the animal kingdom. There's no human kingdom. You're in the animal kingdom if you're a human, but we're not humans. Only the ones that got the rhesus monkey gene that supposedly came and grafted from orangutans and all this other bullshit, they are the motherfucking humans. You know? So it just wanted to grow. Remember, everything's upside down, reverse, backwards, and all of that. So when they calling you color, they was the real color people because everybody that was around us, we all was doing all the same. They looked at a funny color, bleachy skin or whatever the fuck. They was black because black mean bleach. You dig? So they reversed all of that. Go look this shit up. I'm not, you know what I mean? Go look up etymology what black meant. It meant bleach, pale skin. Okay? So you can see somebody is fucking playing a reversal game. And so to understand the two shells, like I said, just to put y'all on to the two shells to know that, even on the currency you fucking with, the symbolism. Where they code stuff, they hide stuff right in the symbols. But if you know what you're looking at, and if you observing it and not looking at it, then you can see it for what it's truly worth. So it's been another galactic glorious day. Y'all travel in harmony. Peace.